Hi, my name is Megan Radden, and I am Quebec City Reading Council's Program Coordinator. I run the family programming at the QCRC, which involves traveling toddler time and our Literacy Day activities. So today, this webinar will talk about how to encourage a love of reading and learning starting at a very young age, so the 0 to 5-year-olds. I'll discuss the importance of learning together as a family and how you can incorporate learning in your daily routines. I'll also show you suggestions on how to choose appropriate books and some crafts and activities you can do at home to encourage playful learning. At the end, I will offer suggestions on how to practice fine motor skills at home during playtime. Family literacy refers to the ways families develop and use learning skills in their everyday, from enjoying a storybook together or playing a game. Encouraging your child's learning at an early age will have a lasting impact on your child's language development, future success in school, and throughout their lives. And it really doesn't take much to make learning fun, but it will have a lasting impression on your children. One way to improve family literacy is to involve the entire family. Bringing in siblings to the activity not only adds family bonding time, but also shows that everyone enjoys learning. And it's a great way to strengthen the relationship between family members. Some activities might be that everyone reads a book together, whether it's during quiet time and everyone has their own books, or choose someone to read out loud to the entire family. You can also make a craft or play a game together, but really reading to your children is something you probably already do at night before you go to bed, so you're already encouraging family literacy. Reading helps children learn to listen, improves vocabulary and language skills, and helps develop imagination and creativity. What we tend to forget in encouraging your child's development is that it's also important for adults. It exercises your reading abilities, imagination, creativity, and improves your literacy skills. How to choose the appropriate book for your little one. Well, when they're under 12 months, when it comes time for reading, you can read any book out loud to them that you enjoy reading. So your enjoyment, it will show in your voice. It will give you also some practice for when you're reading their stories out loud to them. They won't understand what you're saying at this point. The point of the exercise is to get practice reading out loud to them, and also, to have them hear your voice and connect it to that feeling of being safe, calm, and warm, snuggled up with their parents. Just choose books that have appropriate language to get you started. Now, you also want to start collecting books for them as well so that they grow up with books all around them. Start with books that are like bath books or cloth books like this one. They're nice and brightly colored. They have 0 to very few words, and they're also interactive with bright colors, different textures, sounds. You can also choose books that have puppets or mirrors, and that way they can actually test them out, play with them, and get the feel of a book in their hands. These books are very easy to clean and they can test them out, and that's what you want to encourage. For young toddlers, start to incorporate sturdy board books. These books should have photos of children doing familiar everyday activities similar to the ones that they might do. At this age, books should have very few words, but a lot of pictures. This is a great example. It's called Some Bugs. And what child doesn't recognize bugs like ladybugs and butterflies? And as you can see, there's very few words, but beautiful graphics. And again, these are objects that they will recognize in real life. Now, this idea is going to carry over into their toddler years and growing up as well. What do we commonly see around Quebec all year long? Well, construction. And this is Let's Build by Lindsay Ward. It's a great book for toddlers. It's more suitable for the 24 to 36-month-olds because even though it is a board book, it has far more text in it. It is a flip and find out book. So you read the text and they'll have to guess what the object is behind the page. And these are going to be, construction equipment that they'll see in real life. And now you're going to also choose books at this age that have paper in it. So you want to make sure that they get a feel for what a real book feels like. And also incorporate books about children doing similar things that they do, like going to daycare, jumping in puddles, going to grandma's. and also choose books about families, animals, and pets. This is the family book by Todd Parr. It talks about different types of families and has bright, colorful words and pictures. They'll maybe even recognize their own family in there, whether they have two moms, two dads, or step parents. Also, start to add in rhyming books. Rhyming and repetitive words are helpful for their memorization. Eventually, they'll start to recognize the words that are repeated in each of these in other books. And so that helps them actually to start to read. This is a great book. It's Jack and Jill. You can also incorporate Dr. Seuss as a great example of this. For the older toddlers to preschoolers, so this is the 3 to 5-year-olds, choose books that start to tell stories, short stories using simple text. These are going to be books with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Look for books with beautiful, colorful pictures that are easy for them to follow. Now, the Peppa series are great examples of this. You'll follow Peppa and all of Peppa's adventures with Peppa's friends, and they're fun, they're exciting. There's a little more words here, but they're great graphics that describe what the actual story is telling you. And also, you can incorporate books that have messages in them. This is May Among the Stars. It's for ages 4 to 7 years old. I love this book. This is by Rhoda Ahmed, and it tells a story about May, who wants to be an astronaut. This is during a time that is not very common for females to become astronauts, and everybody really ridiculed her. But her parents supported her and said that if you believe it and work hard for it, anything is possible. And she ended up becoming the first African American astronaut in the United States, first African American female astronaut in space. And it's a wonderful story for the 4 to 7-year-olds. Reading for bed is a great way to encourage learning, but you can also add activities to your day. We suggest 20 minutes because take 20 is not just a catchy phrase, but it's also a good amount of time to finish a short story, complete a craft, or play a game. But life can be busy, especially for families. And you know your children well. So, the smallest ones, they're not going to have the ability to focus long, or they don't have the attention span for very long tasks. So we suggest maybe starting out with just a few minutes or multiple short activities throughout the day, and then work your way up to 20 minutes. Any amount of time really has its benefits, and it will benefit the entire family. Plus, it's a great way to unplug after a very long day and to enjoy some family time. So, the following activities are little ways to show how easy it can be to incorporate learning into your daily lives and how fun it can be for the entire family. Plus, it's a great way to connect kids to the books that they love. So, the first activity is to encourage the budding chef in your family. You want to just follow an easy recipe for making your own homemade Play-Doh or making a favorite family recipe. Cooking together is a great way to bond, and you can enjoy the finished product as a family afterwards. Plus, if you have them help you out with adding ingredients to a bowl, they're starting to learn numbers in real life, like 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoon. Plus, they'll learn skills that will last a lifetime. And you can encourage this by adding books such as the Can You Guess book. This is following the very hungry caterpillar. You get to guess what he's eating with the clues that he's offering you. For instance, like a lollipop. And this is good for the 3 to 5-year-olds. You can also read Hungry Bunny by Claudia Rueda. This is good for 2 to 5-year-olds. And you're following the bunny as he's trying to find a snack. You can see that there's wonderful graphics and very few words. But he's really just having a terrible time trying to find apples to eat. And for a craft, check out the Food Network US website. I haven't been able to find this on the Canadian version, but the Food Network US has a whole section on recipes for kids and things to do with kids that revolve around food. You can see from this example, it's using breakfast time to create little animals out of their food. You can also check out the QCRC's website under family programming under traveling toddler time. There will be an option there and a link for the Crew program that was offered by the provincial government. And this will be in English. And it is basically using healthy snacks to create crafts. So again, both of these examples are great ways to see how you can incorporate learning in your daily routine, such as breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Plus, who said you can't play with your food because it can be educational? To promote creativity and make science fun, do a kitchen experiment together. And then you can also read about famous scientists with these books. This is the Littlest Collection, Scientists. It's for ages 3 to 5 years old, and it's a primer to introduce children to famous scientists such as Albert Einstein, Marie Curie, and even some more modern scientists. Here you'll see that they have short statements here, which is great for the younger learner, and then additional facts here over on the side for the older learner. Also, you can have a book for the 0 to 3-year-olds. This is a great example of what I said earlier, which says to how to incorporate children into the stories so that they can recognize themselves in them. And so make sure that the things that they do as well. This is a great example because you'll see that it is you'll see the adult doing their adult sciencey things and the child doing theirs as well. This is the Future Baby series, and it's Future Engineer for 0 to 3 years old. And for a craft, during the day, you can learn about chemical reactions as a family by creating a volcano. This is easily adapted to toddlers, and you can also do it outside when we finally have a lot of snow. Just cover the glass with Play-Doh or with the snow if you're doing it outside. You can have your kids decorate it and, maybe even add figurines. You can also add sparkles to the mixtures and also combine food dye to show how colors mix. And so this is a great example of science and making science fun. And it's great for all ages as well. For the children interested in the world around them and astronomy, try these books to get you started. First, we have the Hello World Solar System. This is great for 0 to 5 years old. It introduces children to our galaxy. So you'll learn about different facts about each of our planets, the sun, the moon, and stars. And for the older learner, it has additional information down the bottom. So this is a great introductory book about our planets. And then for the 2 to 4-year-olds, this is another board book about astronauts. It's an interactive book. It is more for the 2 to 4-year-olds and for the older kids because there's a lot more detail to each of the pages. Even though it is interactive here for the 2-year-olds, it can also be a counting book, so you count the different astronauts, and also object identification. For instance, can you find the satellite? And so here you'll have some facts up here with additional facts on each of the pages for the older learner. And for a craft, go outside for an evening walk and point out the stars and the moon. On your walk, collect different size stones for a moon craft. In this craft, you'll have your child create a large ball out of Play-Doh or magic clay. Then have your little ones press their fingers into the ball or use the stones that you've collected. You're going to make different size dents in the moon. Then describe how the asteroids or space rocks make similar dents into the moon, and they're known as craters. Then afterwards, as a family, go online and search for pictures of the moon and see them in real life. This next activity is a great way to de-stress as a family and have some fun. It's also easily added to your daily routine. Now, songs help kids recognize rhymes and rhythms. So play music while you're doing chores around the house and sing and dance along with them. Plus, you can also grab books like this one, which is the ABC Dance book by Sabrina Moyle and illustrated by Eunice Moyle. It's an ABC board book with vibrant art and cheerful rhyming text. You recognize animals in it, and you can also dance along with them. So it's an activity in itself. And then for a craft, have a karaoke night with the kids or show off your best TikTok dance routine, one night a week or so. There are a ton of apps online that are free and websites with kids-friendly music, such as Simple Songs, YouTube, and even Spotify has a kids version. Plus, there's other karaoke apps which have, kid-friendly songs and Disney music as well. Plus, you can also create something like my die here. I bought 2 die from Dollarama, but you don't have to, you can create this out of styrofoam as well. And I covered them, one with recognizable numbers, nice and colorful as well, and also the other one with a movement activity. So this is space themed. It was in courtesy of a website called 3dinosaurs.com. And here what you do is you just toss the die and you do the activity this many times. So if you have to spin like a galaxy, you're going to spin like a galaxy at least one time. And so this is a great way to just, blow off some steam. It's a great movement. Also, there's some dexterity activity in it as well. And you can change this to different types of themes. There are other templates on their website that's made available by 3dinosaurs.com. Now, books are essential to encourage early learning, but having other tools handy will help to encourage creative and playful learning. To make it easier for you and your children to have craft time, QCRC suggests creating a craft or writing kit and have it handy for them. You can do this by taking a small plastic bin or even a shoebox. You get this at the Dollarama store. And you can also use a basket, a drawer, or any other storage vessel. But having something this small makes it easy to store and easy to move and take with you. You can store it on a shelf or on a bookcase, underneath a bed, or even in a drawer. You just want to make it easy for them to get the box, carry the box, and so that they can just have their own creative and playful time. What you put in it may depend on their taste. So we suggest to add paper, obviously, for either writing on or to drawing on. Keep your scraps from previous crafts because those are also good for other crafts. And also, add in some construction paper or even printing paper is great. Also, don't forget your decorating materials, anything they like to use, like pencils, markers, crayons, paints, stickers, glitter, and I especially recommend googly eyes, which you can buy in bulk because I love my googly eyes, and you can always throw them on anything to make them cute and funny. Don't forget the glue and the Mod Podge, and also kid-safe scissors. So they're little for their little tiny hands. Also, I recommend educational toys like magnetic letters, alphabet charts, and also, Play-Doh and Etch-a-Sketch often come in little small containers. So these are great for practicing with their finger play and dexterity, and they're easy to store in a box like that if they come in like the small containers. Also, chenille sticks is great, but also to add in a paper plates or paper cups and brown bags. Have them in your house somewhere. They're great for picnics, but they're also great for activities and craft. There's a ton of craft ideas out there that use paper plates, paper bags, even toilet paper roll and paper towel rolls. So keep them, don't recycle them just yet because you never know when you might need them. And you can also buy the paper plates and stuff in bulk from Costco or Dollarama. And now the idea really is to encourage your children to play with these materials, providing very minimal supervision and support, but only when it's appropriate. Creative self-directed play is very important for development. Cutting, gluing, painting, and other such activities are key for developing fine motor skills. So this is very important to practice in preparation for preschool and kindergarten. Playful learning doesn't just involve reading and crafts, but you can also work on practicing fine motor skills using finger play, such as patty cake, the itsy bitsy spider, or also rhymes that I like to call the five littles. So they're basically five littles, fill in the blank. So 5 little monkeys jumping on a bed, 5 little aliens going to space. There are also a ton of rhymes that involve 10. The idea is you're using their hands, their fingers to do the play, so they can practice making fists, reaching their fingers out straight, and also putting their fingers down one by one. So it's a counting game as well. Also look for toys that develop dexterity by practicing buttoning, latching belts, putting loops onto blocks. Mr. Potato Head is a great one. Also any kind of dolls to play dress up. This will help with their dexterity and their focus. To also practice with that, you can introduce musical instruments like the xylophone. This also practices not just their focus and dexterity, but also tapping on targets and using their non-dominant hand. You can also just throw out some pots and pans out on the floor and let them bang away on them. You're still practicing their targets and focus and their non-dominant hand use. Also, introduce little games like this. This is a fishing set. You can also make this at home. Basically, the idea is you use a stick and attached to a string and some magnets, and you're picking up letters or numbers or objects. And so this is working on their number identification, letter identification, and also objects and focus. And also you can, as I said, you can make this at home with just a magnet and some cardboard cutouts. And really it's nice, cheap fun for them to do, and they'll love it. So again, all of this is to work on their fine motor skills and build their focus and attention. If you like the books and the games that I've shown you today, they will be available for free through our lending library. The lending library is a free resource for parents to find books suitable for children 0 to 5 years old. And on behalf of the Quebec City Reading Council, I'm very excited to announce that we have received additional books, which allowed us to create a second location of our popular lending library. Our additional books are supplied to us by the Pop-Up Pages Community Initiative. The goal of the pop-up pages is to foster the development of literacy skills in toddlers through early years by developing reading awareness and to enhance reading skills through playful activities. Educational toys and books will now be available at the QCRC and eventually will be available at our traveling toddler time activities when we finally meet in person. Please call or email ahead before you arrive in order to make sure that the room is available for you and someone will be there to greet you. Well, that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this video and the resources available to you. If you have any suggestions on or tips on how you incorporate family literacy in your family, I would love to hear from you. Please let me know what your thoughts are of this presentation and if you have any questions. Thank you.